If you're planning a trip to Japan and you are unsure about cherry blossom timing, crowds, and how to plan your trip, this video is for you. I will share some practical travel tips with you, some of the most popular but also lesser known cherry blossom spots in Tokyo and across Japan, and we will also shortly talk about the most important travel updates for 2026. Hi, my name is Tina, I'm a local tour guide and a travel content creator. Let's get started! Spring is the most popular season for visiting Japan, and for good reason. It is cherry blossom season, the weather is ideal for sightseeing, and there are countless seasonal events and activities. Here are my top 5 tips for visiting Japan in spring. Tip number 1, pack for regional weather differences and changing temperatures. The temperatures in Japan will vary according to region. The average temperatures in Tokyo will look something like this. In general, the weather in spring in Japan is going to be mostly sunny, there is no humidity, and only few rain. What should you pack when coming to Japan in spring? You want to bring layers, you want to bring long but also short sleeve things. Tip number 2, plan your trip around regional cherry blossom timing. Every year, they are going to release a cherry blossom forecast for Japan. An interesting fun fact is that some types of cherry blossoms will start to bloom really early as February. The best time to see cherry blossoms, for example, in Tokyo, are usually the last couple of days in March and maybe the first week in April. According to the cherry blossom forecast that we got currently, in Tokyo they are going to bloom after the 23rd of March. In Kyushu they already start to bloom a little bit earlier, but also around the 22nd of March. In Kyoto and Osaka they are going to bloom at the end of March. And in the northern Hokkaido they are still going to bloom until mid-April, even until May. Tip number 3, take advantage of spring-only activities and seasonal events. The most popular activity in spring, as it's cherry blossom season, has to be hanami, which is cherry blossom viewing. So Japanese people refer to, for example, just going to cherry blossom spots and just walking around there, or a hanami party in that sense. Then for that, you would probably gather with a group of people and you could have a picnic at a park. Then apart from cherry blossom, there are also other flowers that you can see in late April to May. For example, wisteria, nemophilia, azalea. There are going to be also some spring festivals, usually revolving around a cherry blossom. For example, the Hirosaki Cherry Blossom Festival in Aomori Prefecture. Another popular activity in spring can, for example, be strawberry picking, ichigogari. Actually, winter is strawberry season, if I'm not mistaken, but it's also a very popular activity in spring. And last but not least, you're going to have a lot of spring-themed foods everywhere. One of them being obviously Sakura mochi. They are sweet, but they always come with a sakura leaf, which is salty. So they are really worth trying because of this difference in taste, the sweetness with the saltiness of the leaf. Tip number 4, very common, book early and plan a little bit strategically because it's peak season. Everything is going to be more expensive, hotels, flights. Japan is also lately trying to adjust a little bit to the over-tourism that we have here in Japan now in some places, partly by increasing prices here and there, introducing new taxes and whatnot. One time during spring that you do not want to come to Japan is Golden Week. That is the first week in May, and that's a series of national holidays here where everyone is traveling. Tip number 5, follow cherry blossom and crowd etiquette. Sounds a little bit vague. Okay, so I made a whole video about etiquette in Japan if you want to watch that. In particular about spring, there is not so much more to say about etiquette, but maybe one thing. If you're doing hanami and you're going to be outside a lot, what you're going to be, you're a tourist, you're a traveler, really be mindful of your trash. There are no trash cans in Japan. So there was a gas attack. Japan got rid of all the trash cans, and many tourists are confused and not really happy about that. I know. So many people bring a plastic bag and put their trash in there and then just take it with them home. Many Japanese people do that. Maybe there are going to be some trash cans or whatever provided at popular hanami spots because authorities know people are going to gather there. And now let's talk about the best spots for cherry blossom viewing. Here are my top 7 recommendations in Tokyo. Meguro River in Nakameguro is lined with cherry blossom trees and it's just perfect for taking a walk. Meguro and Nakameguro are usually two very calm areas, but during cherry blossom season, because of the trees, it's getting a little bit crowded. It's generally, you will find in this area a lot of cute boutiques, shops, restaurants, and also fancy cafes. Number two, Ueno Park. Ueno Park is one of Tokyo's most famous parks, and it has over 1,000 cherry trees. Ueno Park is known because it has also lots of museums that you can visit. There are tons of temples and shrines that are actually really beautiful, and the Ueno Zoo. Number three, Shinjuku Gyoen. Shinjuku Gyoen is a very large garden or park with different areas. Like, for example, a Japanese garden is there. There are a lot of spots where you can either do a picnic or you can do your cherry blossom viewing or both. In Shinjuku Park, you can find different types of cherry trees. Some of them are going to be blooming a little bit earlier, and some, again, as most of them, at the end of March. Number four, Chidori-ga Fuji Moat around the Imperial Palace. So you have a tunnel of sakura trees. And a really cool feature is that you can take a boat ride under the sakura. I assume because many people want to do that, it's going to be super, super popular and I have to book a boat ride early. Number five, probably one of my favorites, Inokashira Park. It's a very beautiful park and it has like a pond in the middle of it where you have lots of cherry trees. If you're going to Inokashira Park, you can also go, you probably have to go to Kichijoji, which is an incredibly nice area in Tokyo. Number six, Yoyogi Park. It's a very spacious park. There is no entrance, like compared to Shinjuku Gyoen, you have to pay a little entrance fee. Because of that, I guess, it's always a little bit busier than, for example, Shinjuku Gyoen. A lot of things are going on there, actually. Sometimes there are events, bands playing, music. And of course, it also has many cherry trees and it is a great place for having a picnic with your friends and doing hanami. Number seven, Sumida Park along Sumida River. So inside of Sumida Park, you also have lots of cherry trees and a view on Tokyo Skytree. Or it's close to Asakusa, so you could also combine it with a visit to Asakusa. If you're like me, you don't like crowds, and if you want to avoid the crowds, consider maybe these lesser known cherry blossom spots. Number one, Kanda River around Omokage Bridge. Here again, you have like a river and you have the riverside lined with beautiful cherry trees and probably lesser crowds, so it might be a really great alternative to Meguro, Nakameguro. Number two, a place I actually really start to like nowadays, is Koganei Park, a park with a large variety of cherry trees. The only downside is that it's not easy to get there. It's a little bit outside of Tokyo and there is no direct train connection. You either have to walk a little bit or you have to take the bus. Number three, Yasukuni Shrine. If you heard about Yasukuni Shrine, it has a little bit of a controversial history. It's still a very impressive shrine. The torii gate in front of it is incredibly big and impressive. And of course, there are cherry trees. There is like a cherry tunnel leading up to the shrine, which is beautiful in spring. And if you go there, you can easily combine it with a visit to Kagurazaka, which is also one of my favorite areas in Tokyo, actually. Number four, Yanaka Cemetery is literally a street called Sakura Dori. It is not uncommon also for visitors to just go there as like a visitor. It is okay to go there as a tourist. Let me just put it that way. And it's a very historical area. There are so many. It's maybe the area in Tokyo where you have the most shrines and temples. The cemetery has a lot of cherry trees and is popular, for example, for that reason. You might want to go to Yanaka Ginza while you're there. That's like 5 minutes from there. Number five, Asakayama Park. Again, a very beautiful cherry blossom spot, particularly popular among locals. So it should be quieter than many city parks and maybe also a good alternative to Shinjuku Park or Yoyogi Park. For more recommendations for cherry blossom spots in and around Tokyo, you can also check the map that I linked down below under this video. Next, here are my top 5 cherry blossom spots outside of Tokyo, some of which are even more beautiful. Number one is going to be the area around Himeji Castle. There are a lot of cherry trees. It's very beautiful. It's in Hyogo Prefecture, and Himeji Castle itself is a very popular spot, actually. Is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Also, you want to go there early because they're going to increase the entrance fee. Number two is Mount Yoshino in Nara Prefecture. There you can see thousands of cherry trees planted on the mountain slopes. Number three, Hirosaki Park and Castle in Aomori Prefecture. There you can see a lot of cherry trees lining the moats or the moat around the castle. Number four, Arakurayama Sengen Park. What a word! in Yamanashi Prefecture. That's where Mount Fuji is. So if you are going there, you maybe have a good view on Mount Fuji. Many tourists don't know that, but Mount Fuji is actually not visible for most of the year. It's like, in my experience, that 80% of the time you won't see it anyway. Number 5, Shuken Garden in Hiroshima, which is a traditional Japanese garden with cherry trees. Now, if you're visiting Japan in spring 2026 or later, here are a couple of very important travel updates you want to be aware of. Some of them are not relevant really if you're visiting Japan in spring, but I still wanted to give you a little bit of a travel update. Not really spring, but starting in July 2026, Japan is going to increase the departure tax for visitors. The departure tax, also called international tourist tax, is currently at 1,000 yen, which is about 7 USD. And it is a tax that you're going to pay when leaving Japan. It is included in your flight ticket, and the reason they introduced it is to help with tourist infrastructure. In July 2026, this tax is going to be increased to about 3,000 yen. Not about, exactly 3,000 yen. Number 2, at the beginning of November this year, Japan will change its tax-free shopping system. Currently, you get a 10% presumption tax when you are paying for your items. When you're purchasing them, when you're paying for them, you already pay less. Now, starting in November 2026, travelers will need to claim their discount at airport counters. And you're not getting a discount when you're paying for your items, but when you're leaving Japan at the airport. Number 3, Japan is going to introduce JESTA, the Japan Electronic System for Travel Authorization. This is even further in the future, and it's probably likely going to happen in 2028. It's basically going to be some kind of online system where you have to, in advance, get a visa in case you need one. I think if you need to get one, you need to use that system, and you need to register there and paying a fee for that as well. Number 4, Kyoto will increase its accommodation tax for visitors. That's actually a development that's going to happen pretty soon. They're going to increase their accommodation tax in March 2027. And this is a per person per night fee that is going to vary according to your lodging costs. And at certain places, you might be paying as much as 10,000 yen per night, again, per night, per person. What's really important is that you need to pay it in cash and at check-in. If you have any questions or if you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video if you liked it, if it helped you, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more travel content or travel advice videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching until the end. My name is Tina, and I see you then in the next one. Bye bye.